You know, in the tech world, mergers and acquisitions happen all the time, right? But every so often, a deal comes along that's different. It doesn't just shuffle the players on the board, it completely redraws the map of the future. Well, on February 3rd, 2026, that's exactly what happened. SpaceX, yeah, the rocket company, officially bought XAI, Elon Musk's pretty ambitious AI startup. And let me tell you, this sent absolute shockwaves through both the space and tech industries. And it left pretty much everyone asking the same super obvious question. Why, why on earth would a company that literally launches rockets into space buy a company that builds AI chatbots? The answer, believe it or not, starts with this number, $1.25 trillion. That's the mind-blowing new valuation of this combined company. We're talking about one of the most valuable private companies in history, like overnight. So yeah, the stakes here are astronomical, to say the least. Okay, so a rocket company buys AI. But to really get what's going on here, we have to look way past that crazy price tag. See, this isn't just about smashing two powerful companies together. It's about Elon Musk's super radical solution to a problem that's threatening to grind the entire AI revolution to a halt. And no, the answer isn't some sci-fi fantasy about putting a chatbot on Mars. It's about a very real, very physical problem happening right here, right now, on Earth. And this bottleneck, this hidden crisis that's fueling this whole deal, it's all about Earth's AI power problem. It's about the insatiable hunger of modern artificial intelligence. Look, it boils down to a pretty simple and honestly brutal equation. AI's demand for energy is just exploding. It's growing exponentially. But Earth's power supply? It's not. It's pretty much stagnant. I mean, we're already hearing reports of entire towns getting hit with surging electricity bills just because a big data center is nearby. Our grid just wasn't built for this kind of insane demand. And it's not just about the electricity, you know? We are literally hitting hard physical and legal walls. Our power grids are strained to the absolute limit. These massive server farms need millions of tons of fresh water just for cooling. There's only so much land to build these. I mean, they're basically gigafactories of compute. And then on top of all that, you've got this mountain of regulatory red tape. So, if the physical limits of our own planet are the problem, well, then the only logical solution is to leave them behind, right? The solution? It's in space. And hey, don't just take my word for it. In a memo, Musk laid this out himself. He said, and I quote, "The only logical solution is to transport these resource-intensive efforts to a location with vast power in space." He saw this coming years ago. It's pretty wild. So what does this actually look like in practice? Well, it's a surprisingly logical four-step plan. First, you use the absolutely massive payload of Starship to launch all the computer hardware into orbit. Simple enough. Second, once you're up there, you harness solar power 24/7. No clouds, no night, just pure constant energy. Third, you solve that huge cooling problem by just radiating the waste heat into the perfect infinite vacuum of space. And finally, you connect it all back down to us here on Earth using the Starlink network, which is already in place. It all just clicks together. I mean, the advantages are just stark when you put them side by side. Down here on Earth, solar is on again, off again. In space, it's constant and about 5 times more efficient. Here, cooling data centers takes millions of tons of water. Up there, you've got the infinite heat sink of the vacuum. On Earth, land is limited and crazy expensive. In space, it's unlimited and totally free. You just can't argue with the physics here. Okay, so this brings us to the really big picture. Because what we're watching unfold isn't just a plan for a new product. Nope. It's the final assembly of this massive interconnected system, what we're calling the Muskonomy machine. An internal memo actually called this new company the most ambitious, vertically integrated innovation engine on and off Earth. And that phrase, vertically integrated, that is the absolute key to understanding this entire thing. So what does this engine actually look like? Well, you can think of it as 4 big interlocking parts. You've got SpaceX for the launch. XAI is the brain, the actual intelligence. Starlink is the global communications network, the nervous system. And then you have Tesla, providing all the crucial hardware back on the ground, the energy systems, and of course, the robots. Let's start with SpaceX. It's the raw muscle, the workhorse of this operation. The plan calls for an almost unbelievable number of launches. We're talking 10,000 or more launches a year, all to build this giant fleet of up to 1 million orbital data center satellites. Then you've got xAI and its AI model Grok. Musk calls it the light of consciousness. It's basically designed to be the central operating system for the whole machine, orchestrating everything from the factory robots on Earth to the rocket trajectories in space. And finally, there's Tesla, the critical supplier down here on Earth. And you gotta stop thinking of it as just a car company. It's manufacturing the custom AI chips, the solar cells for the satellites, and this is the big one, the actual physical bodies for the AI to live in, the Optimus robots. So, the machine is assembled. The plan is in motion. But where does this all lead? What's the ultimate endgame for this trillion-dollar venture? Well, it really starts with this phrase Musk loves to use to describe the Optimus robot. He calls it the infinite money glitch. The idea is that a massive fleet of humanoid robots could pretty much remove physical labor as a limit on economic growth, maybe increasing global GDP by an insane amount. And the plan to scale this up is just exponential. We go from training and testing today to producing 1 million units a year with Optimus 3, then jumping to 10 million a year with Optimus 4. But the real game changer, the part that's almost hard to wrap your head around, is recursive growth. When the robots themselves start building more robots, that's when you get a true explosion in productivity. But look, the robots are just the hardware, right? The ultimate prize here is the software, artificial general intelligence, or AGI. We're talking about an AI that can think and solve problems just like a human, or maybe even better. Musk himself believes the next major version, Grok 5, has a 10% and rising chance of hitting that milestone, all powered by this huge compute network he's building in orbit. It really all ties back to the grand vision that connects all of his companies, doesn't it? It's about extending the light of consciousness, making sure humanity survives by becoming a multi-planetary species, and building a truly sustainable future that's powered by the sun. So, what we have here is an engine designed to build humanity's future. But it also forces us to ask a really critical question. Is this just too much power? Too much economic, technological, and infrastructural power all concentrated into a single ecosystem? That, right there, is the trillion-dollar question.